Like we're live, guys. Check out my coffee mug. My Like-A-Bully Homestead. I finally found it. So yeah, I'm back in the bus, doing my live from the bus here. Let's see here. Let's go to live chat. Welcome, welcome. Hope you guys can see and hear me good. One person in here, one thumbs up. I probably should have done this on StreamYard. Seems a little easier, but there's things you can do on StreamYard that you can't do on this, but there's things you can do on YouTube that you can't do on StreamYard. So how's everybody's morning this morning? I actually got coffee in my cup today. Got this little burner over here keeping it warm for me. I'm going to turn that off real quick. I don't want to burn the coffee. I probably will only have one cup today. I might top it off once. I don't know. Good morning, Susie Jacobson. 5 people in here, 3 thumbs up. So guys, check this out. I got all the seats out of the bus. All of them out. I got that done yesterday, I think it was. Maybe it was the day before. My days are running together. And Susie said, I had my coffee too. Awesome. I'm not supposed to have coffee. Doctor told me no caffeine at all. I guess it messes with my kidneys or something. I don't know. Let's see. Sustainable Path Homestead. Hello, hello. What's up? Hope everyone's having a good Monday morning. I know a lot of you have to work, so that's why I also do lives on Friday night now at 7 p.m. Jason Crocker left that time slot open, so I decided to take it. There's probably other people live at the same time. I'm not sure, but normally I would be watching his live at 7 o'clock, and I said, well, I guess I'll go live. So Susie said, I must have coffee. Yeah, I really like my coffee. It's just, I know it's an acquired taste. Some people like it, some people don't. That's one thing I like. I don't like beer. If I drink any alcoholic beverage or anything like that, it's usually, something like Crown and Coke, some kind of mixed drink or something like that. But I got bugs in my bus. Got to get all this stuff tore out of here. We got a bunch of rotted wood in the back of it where there was the roof was leaking, I guess. I've got to fix that too. There's some damage up on the top in the very back that looks like they backed into something and it kind of dented it, and so the silicone bead isn't sealed up there anymore. Probably been like that for a few years, and it rotted out the plywood in the back. But all that stuff is going to be torn out of there. So we're going to be ripping up the floor next out of here, and then I've got to go get insulation whenever I get the funds to do that. I'm going to get insulation for the flooring, and then I've got to get plywood also. And then I also got to get the flooring to put on top of that. But I really can't do much of anything in here until I have the funds to do that. So, let's see. Susie said you have a lot of nice wood to replace it. No, I don't. I'm not putting wood in for the flooring. I want waterproof flooring, so I'm going to go with maybe not the most high quality waterproof flooring, which is called Life-Proof flooring. And then there's another one that's a bit cheaper that's still waterproof, and it's called Procore. And so I might use the Procore, but I'm going to go look around at some, I don't know what you call them, like a bargain depot place, and see if I can get flooring there. There's a place that was in one of my videos up there on Route 66, a place where my brother works or worked at actually. I might go up there and see if they have flooring considerably cheaper to put in here. I don't have any wood to put in the floor because it would take forever, pretty much. I mean, you're looking at a year to dry the wood to the point where you can use it for hardwood flooring. And then that's going to be about 3/4 of an inch by itself. And right now, when I stand up in the bus in the middle of the ceiling right here, I've got about 3 inches before my head hits. So I want it, I want to keep the floor as thin as possible. And I think I'm going to be putting about a 1/2 of an inch of insulation in, and then the flooring on top of that. The flooring that I'm wanting to use is very thin, so it's about 1/4 of an inch thick, I think. But as far as like shelving up here on the walls and stuff, up above the windows, cabinetry, stuff like that, I might use some of the wood I have here, like some of the oak and stuff. I've been playing catch up. The bus is awesome. Cool. Susie said, well, that makes sense. Yeah, she said, I never realized it took that long for wood to dry out. Yeah, it takes about a year per inch, and oak, you have to dry it slow. You don't have to air dry it necessarily, but typically what people will do is they'll dry it for a year. If it's, let's say, 1.25 inches thick, they'll air dry it for about a year. Oak is one of those woods that you really want to dry it slow, or the wood grain will get this honeycomb effect to it where it starts checking all throughout it, and it really doesn't look very good. The shipping container kiln is a dehumidifier kiln, and it really only dries in the summertime when it is heated up by the sun. I don't have a heat source in it yet. I would have to buy a wood burning stove or something to put in it. What is she up to now? Says hello, Dave, in chat. I'll make sure I'm not missing anybody here. Hey, Tiny Tim Posey, what's up? Didn't see you there. You said hi to everybody else. Said howdy to me. I'm trying not to miss anybody. Got 10 people in here. That's awesome. Yes, oak is beautiful wood, but it's very heavy. That's why you don't see a whole lot of people use oak in their bus builds. I mean, some people do because they get, free pallet wood or something, and that's why they use it, because they can get it cheap or free. And, I might use a little bit of oak in here. I'm not real sure. I know for sure I'm going to be doing some kind of live edge countertop for the kitchen area. Yeah, so you guys got any questions about the build or anything? I think that's pretty much what my channel is going to end up being about for a while, is the bus build. I'm probably going to have to go get a real job in order to be able to afford this thing. Oak is hard to pound nails into. Yeah, you got that right. Oh, man, my nose is running. It's cold out here today. I've got this this little Mr. Heater. There it is. I got that in here running on like medium heat right now. Sorry, my hands are a little bit shaky. Let's get this thing set back up right. Oh, but yeah, I get the best service out here where I have the bus parked at right now. It's out by the sawmill, so the great thing is I can move it wherever I need it to be. Susie said, yes, my dad built me a desk out of oak. I've had it for 25 years now. Wow. And have you moved very many times in those 25 years? Because I know like the desk that I got from my mom that's in my living room, I know she's moved that thing several times, or I've had to help move it, and that thing is freaking heavy. It's one of those old style desks that has like the little accordion type door that rolls down on it. Let's see, what is she up to now? So I know it's cold down there. We have over 50-mile-an-hour winds up here. Yeah, we had that yesterday. It was pretty windy here yesterday. Oak is heavy, but not like walnut stuff. No, oak is actually a lot heavier than walnut. Walnut's not as hard as oak, and it's not as heavy as oak. So I might use cedar. I've got a lot of cedar on the walls in my house. I kind of hate to take it down, but if I'm going to sell the house for as much as I want to sell it for, I really need to take the cedar off the walls and put drywall up. So yeah, I might be taking all that cedar down. The cedar's hard to clean too. I didn't seal it or anything. And so like when we get any cobwebs or anything, and you want to take a broom or something to knock the cobwebs down, it ends up like wanting to stick to the wood, and it's a pain in the butt. So yeah, drywall is fairly cheap. It's a lot cheaper than the cedar I put up. So I might just take that cedar down that's in there, and the oak and everything, and just put drywall up. Then I have to pull all the staples out of that cedar, and then I might put it in here on the ceiling. I kind of want to keep the ceiling like it is with the metal. I might put it up there, like sand this or something, maybe put it up with liquid nail. I don't know if liquid nail is going to hold it very good. In Pedmar, what's up? Good to see you in here. Cedar means no bugs or mice. Yeah, maybe. We got little Japanese beetle things crawling all over in here. It's crazy. I don't know how they got in here, but they did. I thought about staying in here last night, and I'm kind of glad I didn't now, because it was cold in here when I come out this morning. And the bus didn't want to start. Had to use a little bit of ether, some starting fluid to start it, which I had some reserves about that whenever I went and looked at it. I seen starting fluid in the bus, and they had already started it and warmed it up before I got there. And so I was like, I'm kind of wondering if that 134,000 miles is real on that. Boy, these bugs are everywhere. It's like they're trying to get up here around my laptop. Yeah, nature's pest control. Yeah, I know bugs don't like to eat the cedar. Yeah. Man, look at that. 17 people in here. Good thing I didn't say I was doing a giveaway or something. We had quite a few people in here the other day when I did that giveaway. They come in, they're like, hey, he's doing a giveaway, and then no giveaway, they don't show up. So you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for being here. Hey, there's J-Dub. Good morning, he said to everyone. Yeah, J-Dub was like, unfortunately, people have to work. I'm like, yeah, I know. But, this is my normal live time that I had been doing for a while. I tried to find a live time that I could do. And I'd considered doing a coffee chat like every morning, kind of like Coffee with the Crockers does. And I can't get myself to do that. That's a lot of work. I don't know how he does that. He does a coffee chat nearly every morning. And then he gets out there and he does work, and he gets a video out a lot of times, almost every day. So, Dutch Creek Cabin, what's up, bud? He says, hey, buddy, stoked for you getting a schoolie. Thank you. Yep. This thing's pretty awesome. The only thing I wish I would have got one a little bit longer. They have the flat nose buses. Those would have about 7 foot more buildable space in the bus, from what I understand. This one here is 7 foot 6 inches wide from inside wall wide, and then 30 foot from the very back to the if you drew a straight line behind the driver's seat where the seat belts bolt down to the floor, it's exactly 30 feet. So that's the space I have to work with. So however many feet that is. And I think one of them landed on my head. We got those little Japanese beetles in here. I don't know if they were already in here or something. I don't know where they came from. J-Dubs, it's windy here and 55 degrees in Arlington, Texas. Wow. Yeah, it's not super windy right now. The wind's kind of moving around a little bit, but it's not like it was yesterday. Yesterday was crazy. The wind was really getting with it. It was kind of messing with my audio and stuff, so I don't know if I'm going to have much from yesterday other than a little bit of video I shot inside the bus. Yesterday I did a little bit of video where I measured things out, and I was just trying to figure out like where everything will go. And the real problem I'm having is I still have 2 kids living at home. We had 3, but now we're down to 2. My oldest is 18. He's moved out. He decided he wanted to live with grandma, and so he is living at grandma's. So we still have 2 of them living with us. So if I put a pull-out bed couch, like a futon or something, up towards the front for where it can be like a couch or a bed, that would be, a sleeping spot for one. And then I was thinking about doing bunk beds also, but then trying to figure out exactly where the laundry is going to be, where the toilet's going to be, where the shower's going to be. It's kind of tight quarters, and this is what I was considering using for my shower / bathtub. It's a stock tank that was given to me. It's what I use for a chicken brooder for my baby chicks. And it takes up a lot of space, and I'm kind of thinking that it might be less space taken up if I get like an actual like a shower with the door and everything on it. That might be what I do in the future. So I don't want this one to be like a permanent thing. And J-Dub said, not sure about that. LOL. Yeah. My wife said, it'll work, because she's like, we got to have a bathtub. And I'm like, we don't have to have a bathtub. Not in the bus. I mean, it's kind of nice to have a bathtub, but the only time you're going to use it as a tub is if you are hooked up to like shore power. Like say you're at an RV camp spot or something where you have enough water to even fill that thing. And here's what we've done. 2 on a fold down couch, 2 on the eating table that made down to a bed, and a bunk bed above the full bed, and back for sleeping area. Yeah. So I'm not sure about the bunk beds and everything, because it's a boy and a girl, right? My youngest son and my daughter. So they need their own space, right? And the bus could probably potentially be at where we live, like solely where we live for a good period of time until, let me just talk about what I think might happen. Okay. So I want to get this built out. I want to get my house in shape where I can sell it, because there's a lot of stuff needs remodeled on it. The cabinets and stuff are from 1975. They're pretty old looking. And people just don't want to buy that stuff nowadays. They don't want to pay much for it. So we got a lot of remodeling to do, cabinets and flooring and the roof and all kinds of stuff. So we'll need to move out of the house and mostly live in the bus while we're remodeling. We'll probably park the bus behind the house. We can hook up to power. We can hook up to the septic and water and everything here at the house. But then once we sell the house, we'll probably need a place to live until I build my own house. The whole point in this bus is to become debt free, not have any debt. I don't want to go to the bank for anything. That's how I started my business, my trucking business. And, you know, I did have some debt to the guy that I was buying the truck from. So that is, in essence, you know, kind of like going to a bank, but I didn't have interest and stuff on that loan with that guy paying for that truck. So that was a little bit different. But now what I want to do is I want to go completely, totally debt free. So once we sell the house, hoping I'll have enough money from that to be able to go and buy a decent piece of land with cash money, paid for, no payments to make on it. If I even have to make one payment on it to finish it out, I'm not doing that. I want it, you know, a done deal to where it's completely debt free. So it will most likely be off grid. One property that I've been looking at is only $6,000. It's not much land at all. I mean, it's like 1.2 acres. So $6,000 for that, you know, it'll be paid for. It does have power on site, so it won't be off grid if I can get that. The thing is just getting to the point where we can get that and then get moved there. And I don't think my kids probably want to move there, so that's another issue that I'm facing. How long is the bus, Dave? So the buildable space in here, from right behind the driver's seat to the very back end, is 30 feet. The overall length from bumper to bumper, I want to say is 38 feet. I measured that with my loggers tape yesterday, and I'm pretty sure it was 38 feet. I want to say it's 38 feet 6 inches, maybe 8 inches, something like that. I can't remember for sure. And I have video footage of me measuring that, so I may be wrong. I may be off. Those things are crawling on my laptop and everything. I guess they're attracted to my laptop. It's making heat over here. Let me shut this thing down. I'm not even using it. All right. Yeah, I want to just say it's like 38 foot and something. And that's bumper to bumper. Tour bus style bunk beds with the curtains over the front of them, so they still have their privacy to get dressed and to sleep. Getting dressed in a bunk bed? I don't know. The ceiling's not, that's the thing that I'm kind of worried about, is the ceiling is not very tall and the insulation in it's not very good. So whoever's on the top bunk gets the short end of the stick there, because in the summer, it's probably going to be pretty hot up there next to the ceiling. Yeah. And Pedmore said, bugs are attracted to the warmth and the vibrations. Yeah, they're like all over here, like by the laptop and everything, like flying around and stuff. I don't know if you guys can see them, but I had one land on my neck earlier. I hate them things, and they bite too. I've actually been bit by one before. Look at that, 21 people in here and 21 thumbs up. Awesome, guys. I'll get me a little bit more coffee here. Looky there. I actually made cowboy coffee like Adam at Like a Bully Homestead does. Actually percolated it in the that percolator there. It's good stuff. Chunky. Sandra Melhot said, well, hello, what's up? What a she up to now? So Dave, I slept on the top bunk. You open the window up and park the bus in the shade. You won't overheat. Well, if you have shade, I don't know that we'll always have shade. I mean, a lot of times, like if we're traveling or something, we could end up in a truck stop parking lot or something like that. I'm, I'd really, I don't know. It's not like they're going to have like separate rooms or something, but I want probably a little bit. Well, I get people are calling me like crazy this morning. I got a call right before I went live, and it was a guy that he watches my channel from time to time, and he was out here the other day, and I did some milling for him. He has a trucking company, and I milled up some dunnage for him, and now he's wanting some beams and stuff from me. So now he's calling me. Um, he's wanting a quote on that, and I mean, he literally like just sent me the message this morning, and now he's like calling. I told him I'd get back with him on it. I'm drinking mine, but it's cold already. Dadgummit. You'll have to heat that stuff up. Yeah. And the other thing is, I don't even know for sure if my kids will even go with me or live with me, or if my wife will even live with me. I don't know how that'll all turn out. Ever since I started talking about getting the bus and everything, my wife has seemed to be more on board. So I think that's a good thing. Um, hey, Mom. Wow, thought it was my phone. Morning. You thought it was your phone ringing when mine went off? Everyone's saying hi to Drew. What's up, Drew? Love your videos, man. Love what you guys have all done in this community. You and Simply Jan and a lot of other people helping out Butt Nuggets Homestead over there. All you guys on my channel, some of you may not know about this, but Butt Nuggets Homestead, the day after Thanksgiving, their house burnt down, and they received burns and everything where they were trying to move their vehicles. They lost all their vehicles and everything. And this great community that we have here on YouTube, a lot of y'all have reached out there. And for those of you who have done that, I would like to thank you. And if one of you guys want to drop the link for the, what's it called? Help me out here. Simply Jan did I keep wanting to say PayPal, a GoFundMe, sorry. So if you want to drop the link for that in here, if anyone wants to go over there and donate to that, I think they've actually done pretty good on that so far. But you know, when you lose literally everything, like just imagine like one day you get hit by a tornado and everything you have is gone. That is where Butt Nuggets Homestead is at right now. And you know, they need all the help they can get. And I know there's a lot of people who have things that they can send to them, but before you do that, you need to like get a hold of Drew over at Dutch Creek Cabin, or Simply Jan, or you can get a hold of Possum Run Homestead. Those are all people kind of in that area. I think Simply Jan's not really in that area. She's a little ways away. But like Drew and Possum Run are in that area. So you can get a hold of them, figure out how or what to send, that kind of thing. But yeah, you guys, everyone in this community, super awesome. And thank you for helping them out. Let's see. Paul Honeymoon's in the house. What's up? J-Dub across the pond. I think he's talking about Paul Honeyman. Just had something crawling on me. And it could be bugs on this chair. This chair was outside, so make sure I didn't miss everybody. Yeah, Paul said hello from England. My voice is getting a little scratchy. what is she up to now? Said, howdy, Betty. Yeah, Betty England is my mom, guys, if you didn't know that. Somebody, I can't remember who it was right off the top of my head, commented and said, I don't recall the video where you introduced or like officially introduced your wife. And I'm like, yeah, I haven't done that. She doesn't typically like to be in my videos. All right, guys, there you go. What is she up to now? Just dropped the link for the GoFundMe for Butt Nuggets Homestead. If you guys, if you can spare $5, I tried to donate, but I only had $4 in my account. So it's a minimum of $5 to donate to that. So whenever I go put a little bit of money into the account, I will make a little contribution to that. But yeah, money's really tight right now, so I don't typically put money in my account. I try to, if someone comes and buys stuff from me here with cash, I keep that. I don't go put it in the bank account because, well, that's something crawling on me. I wonder if that thing's still on me. I'm giving everyone the creepy crawlies now. But yeah, I mean, if I don't have to put it in the bank account, I don't put it in the bank account. And so I got $50 the other day from a guy that just came and bought some stuff from me. So I need to probably go put a little bit in my bank account so I can contribute a little bit. If you can't afford to help them out that way, don't worry about it, guys. There's lots of other people who are helping and lots more people who will. So don't put yourself in a position if you can't afford it. Let's see. What is she up to now? At JW, yeah, take out the seats and you can reuse them how you want or sell them. Yeah. And that guy that was here yesterday that bought stuff off me, he's seen this huge mountain of seats that I got out here. And he's like, man, I wish I knew you had those. Like, I didn't have them until like the day before yesterday. So it's like I literally just pulled those out of the bus. He's like, man, I could have used the cushions and all this and that. I was like, well, I've been thinking about posting them on like Facebook or something. But honestly, there's a lot of steel inside those seats, and I have plans for that. I pretty much want to put a deck on top of the roof up here from front to back. And I can use a lot of the steel in that for the brackets that mount to the roof. Yeah, I shouldn't have probably drank coffee. It's giving me the burps today. It's messing with me already. I need to lay off the coffee. What is she up to now? Said Paul, I'm in blue more than you know, and I do lives too. Yeah, and if you are in blue, that means you are a trusted moderator. And I have actually, the other day, I got rid of a few moderators. I don't know who done it, but in my giveaway, somebody put somebody else in timeout right before the giveaway, and whoever done it was doing it for their own personal gain or whatever. And so a lot of people that may or may not have had anything to do with that got deleted as a moderator because I cannot find out who did it. If I could find out who did it, I would have been very specific in who I removed from being a moderator. But I am not going to allow someone to be a moderator who will do something like that. And I wish I knew who did it, because it caused a few people to not be a moderator anymore who I don't know if they had anything to do with it or not. So, and pretty much the people who are moderators now is people who have no idea what that whole drama thing was about. And I'm not going to talk about it on my channel. So, Paul Honeyman, what, lay off the coffee? That's not right. Never have enough coffee. Yeah, it messes with my stomach and my kidneys. But for some reason, like the first thing it does is make me belch a lot. Uh, Dave, have you seen the collage bus from this village? Yes. Whoops. You said what you want to do to your bus. No, a collage. No, I don't want to do a collage. Tiffany Spengler says, "Smash a thumbs up, guys." I'm kind of going backwards here and trying to catch up because the chat jumped on me. What is she up to now? Said, "It wasn't me. You knew I wasn't going to be at it. Dang, sorry that they done to you." Yeah. What is she up to now? You're one that you don't know what that drama was about with a couple other channels. But I I have to stay neutral from any drama that any other channels have going on between them or whatever. And I have people from both sides of that who watch my channel. And you know what? I don't know what happened, and I'm not going to get in the middle of it. I'm not going to allow that to affect my channel. And if I mean, I just, now I can't have them as moderators, and that sucks. College bus? Oh. What do you mean college bus? It has the rack on top of it, and it's owned by the college. Yeah, this is going to have a deck on top. I don't know about a rack, but it's going to have a deck on top where you can go up there and hang out. And there's a lot of people who do that. And I'm thinking about putting a deck on the back. I'm going to extend it at least 2 foot, maybe 3, to where I could at least have enough room to set like a lawn chair, so I can go out the back door and sit out there on the back deck. I'm also considering extending the top deck over top of the back, so it's kind of like a roof on it, so kind of like a porch. And so that way, let's say if I park at close to a beach or a lake or pond or river, I can go out there on that back deck and sit there and enjoy my coffee or favorite beverage, whatever, while I'm watching the sun either go up or down. Let's see here. J-Dub, I have gotten in a timeout before, felt like I was back in school. How does that work? Yeah, see, somebody put someone in timeout during that live. And the weird thing is, I went back to look through the chat to see if maybe this person had said something to have any reason to be put into timeout, which I don't think that person would have done such a thing. But they were put in timeout right before the giveaway, which, I mean, if you guys watched the live, it was Kelly from Roost and Rescue. And because she sent me a text message and said, "Hey, someone put me in timeout," and she sent the number. Luckily, she didn't guess the right number. So, that's complete BS that somebody would do that on my channel to someone else who is a subscriber for whatever, gain or whatever for them. It's just complete BS. J-Dub said, "Is it YouTube?" No, YouTube doesn't come on and put anyone in timeout. I don't have Nightbot on my lives or anything. I just have my moderators. So let's see. J-Dub said, "You can't even defend yourself." What? Yeah, I didn't do it. I've never put anyone in timeout on my channel because on my channel, you would have to say something like, pretty bad, I think, for me to, and you'd probably have to do it a couple times. If I had to delete your comment multiple times, then I would probably put you in timeout. Um, I'm not I'm not generally that easygoing on some other people's lives when I'm a moderator on their lives, but on mine, I'm pretty easygoing. If you're saying cuss words or something that's not family friendly, then I might put you in timeout, but I'm probably going to say something to you first before I do so. And I would have to actually like delete your comment a couple of times or something before I'm going to just say, all right, I'm done. Yeah, but YouTube, I don't think does that. Don Lee says, hey, Scully boy. In Pedmar, I was put in timeout too. It says by owner or moderator. On that live you were? Because I didn't know that. Don't attack the channel owner example data. J-Dub said they blocked me and I couldn't even apologize. Who done that? Another channel or something? Use your manners and be polite. Yeah, exactly. That's all I really expect is people to have manners and just not be belligerent and yeah. Yep. I don't want the whole live to be about that. I got to find a different subject here. Oh man, good old coffee. I need to lay off of it, and here I am taking more drinks of it. But yeah, I mean, she messaged me a little bit afterwards after a live, and I was like, well, you didn't guess the number anyways, so that was kind of the good part about it, I guess. She wouldn't have won anyways, but I think that's what they were trying to do, was just make sure that she couldn't win. That's just sad that someone would do that. So anyways, had to get rid of some moderators. So what's the plan for the bus? Sandra Malhot said, what are you going to do first to your bus? Just say, let me read these messages here. J Dubs, breakfast. What is she up to now, Tim? I didn't know it happened to you. I keep clear of channels with Nightbot too. Yeah, like Nightbot, I would rather have a person be a moderator. They can really like they have common sense, right? And they can just be like, let it go, and know that I'm pretty easygoing. It has to be just something stupid for me to want you to actually delete them or block them from the channel or whatever. I don't even know what my moderators can do. They might be able to block you. I don't know. I haven't done anything with it. It's just, I made people moderators and didn't set any rules to it or nothing. All right. Name of the bus yet. All right. So what am I planning on doing with the bus and the name of the bus? So right now I'm kind of leaning towards Freedom, or maybe something like Lady Freedom, something like that, because this bus right here it's not the first step I've taken towards becoming debt free. Honestly, I've been wanting to be debt free for a very long time. And I would say the first real step I took towards being debt free was with the minivan. And the minivan is technically how I got this bus. So if you remember back, the government was sending out money to everybody, these stimulus checks and everything. I owed $2,000 something on the minivan. Okay. It was a title loan that was just, when you can't make those payments. And when I first lost my job, I couldn't make the payments on the minivan. I had over $10,000 invested in that minivan, which we had it for years, right? but I didn't want to lose that investment that we had in that minivan. I was like, man, that's a pretty good asset. I can sleep in it. When I went out to the 41.36, I put a cot in that and I could sleep in it. So it was a great vehicle for that. So my wife got her money for the stimulus. My kids got their money. They send you X amount of dollars, whatever, per child that's a dependent of yours. So they got their money out of it, and then I got mine. I took mine and I paid the minivan off. So that was my first major step in trying to become debt free. So now the only debt that I have is the house, um, which I still, you know, I'm getting to the point now where we can start making those regular payments, but we're so far behind that we're thinking we're risking losing it, right? Um, and someone had made a comment before. I'm just touch on this a little bit. They said, "Well, I would have taken the $4,000 that you got from the Mustang and paid on the house, so you wouldn't lose the house." Well, that wouldn't have uh, that wouldn't have done anything. That wouldn't have saved it. So the minivan was traded for the Mustang, and then the Mustang, I sold it for 4,000, which bought this bus. So now I have a place that is 100% paid for. Nobody can take it from me. So if the bank so chooses, we probably won't know for like 45 days. We've got all the paperwork sent into them, all my bank statements and everything, my profit and loss statement for my business, which is part of that is YouTube. All of my income goes through that banking account. So they got all of that information sent into them. That has to go to the underwriter, which will take about 45 days for them to get back with us. And whatever their finding is, we could lose this place or we could keep it and just start making the monthly payments. It is a rural development loan. So that's a government backed or government guaranteed loan. So whether I lose this place or keep this place, no matter what, I have to pay for it. Back in the downturn of '08, we were buying a house for $97,900 total. And I ended up paying every bit of that money over, I want to say it was like 5 or 6 years. We lost that house because I lost my job back in '08, and all of these banks, they got the bailout and everything. Well, they got my house too, and I still had to pay for it. The government garnished my wages. They took my tax returns for the next several years until that was paid in full. Once that was paid in full, then I could buy this place. We ended up getting the same kind of loan, which is kind of stupid on my part. But so I don't want to lose this place for sure, because no matter what, I still have to pay for it. They'll garnish your wages. They'll, take your tax returns and everything until it's paid for. But anyways, we've done what we could with the paperwork and everything. Hopefully we get to keep the place, and then I can turn around and sell it. And where the market is sitting at right now, I could sell the house for double what I originally paid for it, which would give me enough money to go and buy a piece of land, just some raw land, and start building my own home, completely debt free, no mortgage or anything like that. That's my main goal, is no mortgage. I want no debt and just build it as I have money to build it. So that's the main purpose of this bus. The other thing is, you guys know that I go to other channels, other people's property and stuff. I take the sawmill with me. The half-ton pickup that I have is not enough pickup truck really to be pulling the sawmill and the log arch trailer. The bus is so long that I still won't be able to pull the log arch trailer probably with it, but I'll be able to pull the 30-foot sawmill behind me, and the bus should pull it just fine. And it will give me a place to, to live in when I'm on someone else's property milling for them. So I don't have to travel back and forth and stuff like that. I can be right there, pretty close by or whatever. So that's another thing that we'll be doing with the bus. It's a vehicle with a big enough motor, and it's heavy enough that it will pull a sawmill down the road. And The other thing is that actually makes it to where I can go even further, not just in this little area where I live, within a, couple 100 miles or something. Going over to Adam, Likeably Homestead, going to his place, uh, that's a few hours away, and that was pretty rough, pulling both trailers with my pickup. Let's see. The first thing that I need to do to the bus. All right, so the first thing I needed to do to the bus was take the seats out, and that's done. The next thing I need to do is actually tear the flooring out all the way up to the driver's seat. I'm going to take a razor knife, cut the flooring off nice and straight. So that will be like the transition from the laminate flooring that I'm going to put in it. Um, let's see. Then we're going to have laminate flooring all the way back. But before I can do that, since the roof was leaking back here in the back, it's got some surface rust on the metal in here underneath the flooring. So I'm going to have to tear all the flooring out. I'm going to have to get a wire cup brush, put on the angle grinder, put a respirator on for sure, and probably even goggles, and grind all of that surface rust off, do all the sanding and everything. Then I'm going to put down some paint, maybe like Rust-Oleum or something. Excuse me. Then we'll probably, I don't know, we might put some rubberized like Flex Seal over top of that and let that cure. Then we're going to put insulation on top of that, which will probably be about, I want to say at least a ½ inch, maybe 1 inch. I'm kind of shying away from the 1 inch because I don't want to have to do a roof raise on this. That is a huge, huge undertaking. It's not something I want to do. So yeah, I want it to look like a school bus from the outside. As far as the paint job, I think I have settled on doing a turquoise on the bottom and then a kind of off-white on the top, maybe white. I don't really like doing white because that's really bright, and we're going to have a deck up there, and we don't want that really bright white, the sun reflecting from the bottom coming up. That would mess with photography and stuff. That's another reason I want a deck on top of the roof, is so I can go up there, set up the tripod, and do photography pictures and stuff from up there. So I kind of want it to be more of an off-white on the top, and I've kind of considered, well, I don't know if I should talk about this. Should be a surprise, but I've been thinking about maybe doing a little airbrushing on the side and making it look like the white is kind of have drips coming down where every one of these, like this pillar right here coming down, where I'll have the white coming down on that, and then it'll go into the turquoise and be just kind of like a teardrop or a drip look coming off of it. Because there's other buses out there that has the turquoise on the bottom and the white on top. It looks like a classic vehicle. But I need mine to be different than everybody else's, so that when you see my bus going down the road, you're like, that's Hood's Custom Shop right there. So that's what I'm thinking I'm going to do, is to where it looks like someone just dumped the white paint on top of a turquoise bus, and it's running down in between the windows, and it's, like a droplet running down. I think that'd be pretty cool. Like Sculiana, he put a wrap on his, which I thought was really, really cool. The way he had like the tree line and everything. So yeah, I mean, when you seen his bus going down the road, you knew who it was. Yes. What a shifting us, said you would get amazing shots on top of the bus. Dutch Creek, I can't even talk. Dutch Creek Cabin said, sorry if you already mentioned this. Do you have any worry about your height if you add a rack up top? No. I'm used to driving a semi truck that's 13.6. I might put a handrail on it. I'm considering putting like a handrail that can just fold up into position and then it will have cables going around it. But I have to figure out exactly how I'm going to do all that to where the cables, when you let it down, the cables aren't real slack and hanging down, which I can probably just fix that with like bungee cords or something to pull them tight. I've seen other people do a rack up top and then they have handrails up around it and they just leave them up. And they're not like where you can just fold them down. They're like kind of permanent, but they can unpin them if they need to. That's another reason I don't want to do a roof raise, is because you're increasing the height. And the biggest problem with that is not necessarily like bridges and stuff like that. You can get a trucker's GPS that will help you avoid going under low overpasses. That's one aspect to it. The other thing is when you do a roof raise, you're increasing the height of your vehicle. And let's say when you go out west or up into Nebraska or something like that, or Wyoming, really high winds could flip you over. You can just be sitting there and it can flip your vehicle over if it's 100-mile-an-hour wind. So I really kind of like it being a little lower profile, and it's not bad. If I have to kind of duck down, it's not the end of the world. I lived in a 36-inch coffin top or flat top sleeper for about 9 years of my life, 3 of which was driving for somebody else, the same truck, and 6 years driving for myself in that same truck. And basically in that thing, I just had to, bend my head down when I was getting dressed and stuff. At least in here, I can stand up. And that's my only real concern, is being able to just stand up straight and your head not be hitting. And that's why I'm considering only doing a 1/2 inch of insulation in the floor. As far as heat, I will probably put a wood burning stove in here, like a mini cubic stove or something. Because that just seems really nice to have just a small fireplace in here. And I'm also going to have 2 of the diesel heaters put in here. Most likely not the Webasto or the other one. It'll probably just be those cheap Chinese ones. A lot of people stand by them. They've used them for a few years now. They're like $150 a piece. And I used to have an S-bar diesel heater in one of the semi trucks that I used to drive. And I think on average, it was about a gallon every 8 hours. But that's also in a semi truck, a condo sleeper that has a little bit of insulation in it, probably insulated as well as this bus is, but it's a smaller area, so it didn't run continuous. I think one of those S-bar or the Chinese one or the Webasto, those heaters, if I didn't put anything on the windows here, as far as like an insulated curtain or something, one of those heaters should heat this bus pretty decent in 0-degree weather. I don't want to rely just completely on that. So that's why we're talking about having one back here in the back, probably underneath the bed or something, to kind of heat the back area, and then one up towards the living area to heat up there. And then we'll also have like a wood burning stove that we'll use pretty much like when we're stopped or something. Let's see here. We got to catch up on the chat here. What is she up to now? Said, yes, I was just joking about making Dave into the man flying through the air with greatest of ease. Impedmar, which might not always be a good thing, being recognized. Yeah, I'm not worried. What is she up to now? Said trucker's GPS can send you to an airport hangar. It's happened to me, or other odd places. Yeah. This was back in 2001 when trucker GPSs were just kind of coming out, and we got sent to, oh man, there was an airport. It was up in New York, and there's like I want to say it was a George Washington bridge or something, or tunnel, and we couldn't go in there. It said no trucks. So, last, spur of the moment, change, and we ended up at an airport. and we're like, oh my gosh. We ended up having the cops had to come out and help us back up and stuff. It was crazy. But I was really new at that time too. And ever since then, I hated New York. I was like, oh man, this sucks. Every time they said, oh, guess what? You're going to New York. I was like, oh, please, not New York City. Let's see. Sandra Melhot said, name it Liberty. I don't know. I'm really leaning towards freedom because of debt freedom. That really, it just goes with it. I mean, liberty sort of does, but I think freedom really kind of hits the nail on the head. What a ship to now said with your wood stove gives a way to cook and heat water as well as heat. Yeah. Yep. And that's why I don't know if I want a mini cubic or if I want to just probably, I'm leaning more towards a more normal size, like cook stove. Hood's Freedom Wheels. Yes, freedom is perfect for many reasons. Yeah. I just want to probably call it freedom. I've almost set my mind up on that one, unless someone really comes up with something that just is way better. I don't know that there is one, but and once I have it built out, maybe it might change. I don't know. But yeah, I started kind of figuring up the prices. Like the flooring that I was looking at is, the LifeProof flooring is $80 a box, and a box does, I believe it's 20. I want to say it's 20.2 square feet or something like that. There's a lot of square footage in here. And then the insulation, I want to use that rigid insulation, and that's expensive too. But they have some other insulation that I'm considering. It's a bit cheaper. I think it's $50 for a 4-foot wide by 50-foot long. And what we need to insulate is 7.5-foot wide by 30-foot long. So to do a 1/2 inch thick, I'm going to have to buy 4 of those. So that's $200 just for that fold out insulation from Lowe's. The other insulation, I think, is like, it comes in 4x8s, and that's like $50 for each 4x8. So I've got to save some money up so I can afford to get that stuff. Let's see. Tiffany Spingler said, how quick are you trying to get the bus done? Well, I don't want to put a time limit on it, and I don't know that the bus will ever actually be done. It's one of those projects that you just know, like, you want to get it livable as soon as possible, and then kind of start building it out and fill it out. I think this is probably how everybody really should do their first buses. You don't just go in and build it like someone else did. You want to build it for your specific needs. And in order to figure that out, you pretty much just need to get it to a point where you can live in it. Once you live in it, you can work on the systems and everything in it and just build it as you go, and it will evolve into the perfect bus. Other things like, water systems and the shower, stuff like that, yeah, you might want to get it done as quick as possible or whatever. But then what if you need to change that? I mean, that's what I'm struggling with right now, is trying to figure out where everything is going to go. And one thing that's really messing with me is I don't want our bed completely against the back door. I want to have a little bit of room back there. The bed we have now, it's a queen size bed, which is probably too big. It's a 72. Well, the topper that we have on top is 72 by 52, which would basically go from one wall over to the middle aisle, the other side of the middle aisle, which leaves a little bit of space to walk around in here if you put the bed long ways with the bus this way. If you put it 72 inches across, like sideways, like a lot of other people do, you end up with about 18 or 19 inches of space between the foot of the bed and the other wall to be able to try and walk around it. So I'm really considering putting the bed long ways this way and sideways, on the width. That would give me more room over on the other side of the bus, and I could probably actually set up a small desk on this side over here and be able to sit on the side of the bed at the same time to do my lives and stuff. And I'm considering closing off the back bedroom completely, so there's a door, like a pocket door or something that slides out, so that way the rest of the family can be up in the front part of the bus when I'm doing my lives and stuff, and kind of cut down on the noise and stuff. So that's a lot of stuff I'm thinking about when I'm trying to think about like the layout of how I would want to do this bus, so I can have my own personal space and everything when I want to do a live or whatever, and they can still watch movies or videos or whatever up there and not be a problem with the noise. Tiny Tim Posey said, buy once, cry once. I've heard that a lot. But, like a lot of people said that to me. They're like, you should buy a Wood-Mizer sawmill instead of a Woodland Mills. Because Woodland Mills is a lot cheaper. And nowadays I bought my mill in 2019, which in my opinion was the best year or best model of sawmill that they had. Right after I bought mine, they discontinued the HM130 and they came out with the HM130 Max. But, it's the same mill, same size band wheel, same blade and everything. It cuts wider than what mine does. But there's other things they've done in the meantime there that they changed on them that has been, has proven to be a problem where they changed design and everything. I'm glad I got the one I did because I'm not having those problems that a lot of other people are having. Possum Run, good morning. Good to see you in here, Mama B. Didn't see you there. Awesome. Let's see. What a ship to now. So Dave, can't you see Mel and Gary's face when you go there next time in your Freedom Bus? That'd be cool. Heck yeah, it would be cool. Yeah, I had planned on going to Crazy Ed's this next 4th of July, but I think it was yesterday he did a live. I missed out on that live, and he's talking about calling it quits and everything. So if you guys would, when I'm done with this live, go over there to Crazy Ed's and tell him not to give up so easily. I know he's kind of in a low spot right now. But, he's talking about, quitting YouTube and all this and that. And I don't think that's the answer. I don't think that's what he should do. So go over to his channel and say, hey, buck up, buddy, and don't give up so easily. But yeah, I might, if they invite me this next 4th of July, I would love to take the bus out there to the 41.36. Because I don't know that Crazy Ed's going to be keeping his property. Let's see. Paul Honeyman said, David, check out the wood burner that Ambition Strikes just got. Hang on. Where's my pen at? I will forget that for sure. Let me write it down. Ambition Strikes. I'll check that out. Let's see here. Is it like a pellet wood burner, or does it just burn like cordwood, like split firewood? And the other thing is, I want it, when I get something like this, I want it to at least accept 16-inch wide, because the mini cubic, I think it's called, I want to say it only burns like 6-inch long pieces. That is a lot of cutting with a chainsaw to cut your pieces that small. They would be easy to split, but I would, if I'm somewhere out in the middle of nowhere, I'd like to just stop by somewhere and be able to buy. My wife is over there behind me. What? She's messing with me. Oh, she took off. She knew I was going to put her on camera. There she is. See? She just popped up in the window waving at me. she's kind of scared me. Hang on just a second. What do you want? Oh. Bye. She kind of scared me. I seen something out of the corner of my eye just past the phone here, and it was her like peering through the window back here at the back of the bus. I was like, who's that? Let's see here. But yeah, I mean, I'd like to be able to people typically when they sell firewood, it's going to be like 16 or 18 inches. You can get like special cut, like 12 or 13 inch long pieces from, some firewood sellers. But if I get a stove that will accept 16 inch pieces, I mean, that's probably going to be a stove that you can actually cook on. And I mean, a pellet wood burner would work, but the pellets I think are kind of expensive, and I can't cut those myself. If I can cut it myself with like the slab wood that I get from the sawmill and then burn that in it, that's fine. That would seem sustainable to me. Possum Run said I used 1/2 inch poly iso. Yeah, I seen another channel that was using that. Who was that? I'm kind of thinking maybe that was Bussy McBussface that did that. I'm not 100% sure, but that stuff, very interesting. I'm guessing that's a fabric that you sew onto the back side of your, like your curtains or whatever. And I do have a sewing machine, and I kind of know how to use it. I can sew stuff with it. It is actually an embroidery machine. I bought that right at the beginning of like the COVID thing, because my little sewing machine that I had before, it was just a cheap brother sewing machine, and I used it to like sew leather and stuff, which the machine's not built to do that. I had to hand crank it, right? So when I was doing leather work or something, I would use a machine like that, which was kind of stupid, but I made it work. And then I learned how to hand sew with a sewing awl to do leather, and so I started doing that. But then I started making masks, right? I got a video out there. I don't even know if it's public anymore, but I have a video out there on how to make sew up a mask. I even had a little kind of a die that I could roll the thing around to cut out the pieces and sew it together. I made a few of those, and then somebody had stopped by here, and they're into like sewing and stuff, and I gave the templates to them. I said, here you go. I'm never making another one again. Let's see. But yeah, I want to figure out how to make patches with that embroidery machine. And if I can start making patches that you can put on your hat or something, if I get that figured out, excuse me, then I might start selling those. And I might be better off just having someone else make them. Dadgum, I keep burping. You are right about that, Dave. Do it for you. Only told you how we all slept over 7 people in our large bus. Yeah, and thank you for that input. But yeah, I don't know. I think we might just end up having a couple of pull-out couches in here. And maybe like we might do a bunk bed. I'm not 100% sure. And one of them might just decide to sleep on the couch or something every night. I don't know. Just have to do what works for you. Nice thing about a schoolie conversion, it's a clean slate. Yes, definitely. I could have went and bought an RV that was already kind of like built out or whatever. There was a few of them out there that I was looking at, that looked pretty clean, and I could have got them for $3,500 to $4,000, but it wouldn't be mine. I mean, it's already built out, right? That's not something I really wanted to do. Let's see here. What is she up to now? Posted the link right there for Crazy Ed's. Go here to tell him to buck up, Buttercup, and don't give it all up. You said it better than I did. uh, so you did buy the bus after all? Yes, I did. I sold my, uh, well, I traded my minivan for the Mustang. I fixed the Mustang up, got rid of all of its issues and stuff, or a bunch of them. Um, and then I sold the Mustang to a guy because I was trying to just trade the Mustang straight across for a bus. As you guys seen in the other video, that deal fell through, um, which is probably a good thing because now I have a much bigger bus. But anyways, I sold the Mustang for $4,000, bought the bus for $4,000. So now we have a bus, but no funds to really kind of get started. So yeah, my wife was actually leaving right now to go haul an Amazon load today. Things on that front right there have really, not that Amazon has slowed down. It's just there's too many people hauling Amazon loads right now. So we're finding out that we can't get 2 loads a day. And if we can only do 1 load a day, it doesn't make sense for me to be helping her. You don't need 2 people to haul 1 load a day. But on days where we see there's a bunch of loads on the board, I might go with her to help do that. But in the meantime, I think it's best if I stay home and do this, the YouTube, and try to keep a schedule with my lives and do the woodworking and try to sell the woodworking projects and make money that way. Well, I thought somebody had pulled up in the yard here. Well, it's a tractor going down the road. Tiffany Spengler said, "It's really good to see you smiling, Dave." Thank you. Yeah, I feel a lot better than what I had been, which I messed up yesterday. I had some cottage cheese, and I know that I'm not supposed to have black pepper, but who eats cottage cheese without putting some salt and black pepper in it, right? I ate that with salt and black pepper in it, and that black pepper, apparently my stomach does not like black pepper at all. So anything with black pepper in it starts making me feel dizzy. I don't know if it's messing with my ulcer or what it is, but it does something to me that just really makes me feel horrible. So for several hours yesterday, it was bad. And the other thing is, when all this stuff started, okay, I'm not really blaming Mel or anything, but she made this stuff, and I can't remember the name of it, but it was like some of the best dang food I've ever eaten. Super, super good. And I think it had black pepper in it, and that really started messing with me. And it was pretty bad, the way I was feeling. And I ended up going to the ER. They gave me Protonics. They actually gave me two Protonics, and you're only supposed to have one every 24 hours. So basically, the ER overdosed me on that, and that in turn made me feel even worse, and it made my blood pressure go up. So then they had me on Protonics, and that was actually causing the blood pressure issues. And the doctor was like, "Well, Protonics doesn't do that. It doesn't do that to anybody." And I said, "Well, I'm pretty sure that's what it's doing to me, after a month or so of going through this." And finally, I stopped taking it for a while. I tapered myself off. I didn't just quit it cold turkey because you're not supposed to do that. So I tapered off of it. And then, so I was completely off of it. And then my stomach acid got really bad. And so I took another one. And instantly, blood pressure that afternoon started messing with me really bad again. And I said, that's what's causing it. So I never took another one, and I've been feeling a lot better. I just started taking famotidine. I think they're 20 milligram. I take 2 of those several times a day, probably like 4 or 5 times a day. I've talked to my doctor, and they're like, "Yeah, you can take probably way more than that." She's like, "You're going to know if you're taking too much of it." Let's see. What is she up to now? I said, "Okay, Dave, I told Ed. Now it's the rest of your turn to tell Ed." Yeah, that Ed, man, he's got a huge community backing him. And Ed, if you're watching this right now, if you go out and drive a truck, that's great. But that doesn't mean you have to give up on YouTube. All right. If you want to give up on that property, I can stand behind you on that, but don't give up on everybody else that follows you and everything. Keep doing YouTube. You have a great community here, Ed. Let's see. Paul Honeyman said it's a firewood stove with a cooking plate and compact. Yeah, I'll go check it out. You said it was Ambition Strikes, right? That's the name of the channel. Let's see. What is she up to now? Dave, pallets are sawdust you mill, or sawdust you mill. So sawdust isn't a shortage for you. Yeah, that's right. I've got mountains of sawdust out here, pretty much. Let's see. Ask Jen and Wiley from Altruistic Homestead. They use it in their wood stove. Well, there's Crazy Ed. What's up, bud? Don't give up on YouTube. I mean, if you think it's best for you to start up another channel, give it a little bit, start another channel right now. All right. And start getting all of your subscribers to go to your other channel, Ed. Don't give up on YouTube. I don't care what job you're going to take, or if you're going to, let the pickup go and the trailer go or whatever. Like that's all personal finance stuff. Do whatever you need to do with that. If you need to let the property go, that's your decision there. But man, you have this huge community here on YouTube supporting you. Don't give up on that. If you need to move it to another channel, so be it. That might be your best option, but you need to get your subscribers over to your new channel before you give up on this one that you have. Don't give up so easily, man. You got this. What a Shep 2 now said, you need a shoe cobbler machine to do leather or by hand. Yeah, and it wasn't until this last year that I seen one of those shoe cobbler machines that you can hand crank. I think they're like 120, 130 bucks, maybe 150. And I was like, man, when I seen that on Amazon, I was like, I totally need one of those. But I really don't do a lot of work with leather. So building out this bus, I'm going to have to do some sewing. I'm going to make my own curtains and stuff. I'm not getting rid of any of the windows, not doing any window deletes. So from the outside, there might be something covering the window on the inside, but on the outside, it's really kind of going to just look like a school bus. Polyiso is a sheet of insulation, 4x8, I used for insulating the floors and walls. Yeah, I thought the polyiso was the material that they had on the backside of their window coverings. Dawn Lee said, I used to do a lot of machine embroidery. Yeah, this sewing machine is one I bought at Walmart. It was a few $100s, and it has this little thing that you put your material in, and it moves around and does all that. It's not like a real embroidery machine. It just does little small stuff. And I want to say it's probably just one color at a time. So yeah, I mean, I might just design a patch for my channel. And maybe it's a saying or something, I don't know, but I might start selling those if I can find the right company to do that. Crazy Ed said, really, what is Shep 2? That's right, Ed. Don't give up. Keep punching. Yeah. What a Shep 2 now said, yeah, Crazy Ed's homestead, we really don't want you to give it all up. We like you being around and your adventures. We are your cheering department. Yep. You don't have to be off grid, man. It's whatever you're doing. Whatever you're doing. I mean, if you're out there driving a truck, I remember when you was out there driving a truck and we were watching your channel, man. You don't have to, I mean, we're not saying you need to keep the property. We're not saying you got to keep doing what you're doing right now. But I mean, whatever you're doing, keep doing YouTube. I mean, don't give up on it. If you want to create a new channel, do that and start putting videos out on this channel that you have now and get your subscribers to go over there. Because I'll tell you what, if you just start off, if you drop the channel you have right now and you start up a new channel and you don't like get everyone to move over there to your new channel so that you can work out all this stuff with the the AdSense and everything, you're you know what it's like to get where you start out from zero, and just to get to that first 150 is just insane. I know you know what that's like. My mom said, "Morning, Crazy Ed." Paul Honeyman said, "Hey, at Crazy Ed's homestead, don't stop. You may be on a low now, but you will get through it, so keep pushing." There you go. That's what I'm talking about. We're here to help you. I mean, as best we can help you, man. Just don't give up. We know how hard it is out there, and maybe you do have to go out and drive a truck or something like that. It would be great if you can go out and drive a truck and still keep your property and everything. I don't know that that's the best for you. I know it certainly wouldn't be for me. I know where you live. I've been out there to your property. I know what you're facing right now. And honestly, if it was me, my decision would be to drop the property, to be honest with you. I don't know how much you've got invested in the trailer and your pickup and everything. Honestly, I would try to probably keep the pickup because you need transportation. If you need somebody to change the brakes on your pickup, if you got the money to buy the brake shoes, bring it over. Bring your pickup over here. We'll get the brake shoes and I'll help you change them out. I can do brakes. Let's see here. Yeah, have to do all that clearing and wood cutting. So when you come to kick my rear for saying it, yeah, are in better shape than me. Let's see. Drops Family Garden said, drink bitter root juice if you have high blood pressure. Well, I don't have high blood pressure. I had been taking, what is that? There's some kind of root. Man, I can't think of it. But I was making a tea out of it, and that helped out a bunch. But I don't need to do that because I don't have high blood pressure. It's like is normal right now. I start feeling like I have kind of, where you feel like you have the blood rushing to your face or whatever. If I eat anything with black pepper in it. Route 3, Box 6, Texas, retracted your message. What the heck? Let's see. It's not that I want to give up. I just don't have the funds to keep everything going after losing my job. Yeah. Man, I'll tell you what. A really good company. I'm going to tell you the best company that I've ever driven for. And that was pulling a reefer unit for Certified Express Incorporated out of Neosho, Missouri, which is not very far from me. They're right off of I-49, right by the Love's exit, or at the Love's exit in Neosho, Missouri. Super awesome company to drive for, excellent equipment. And when I worked for them, it was basically I would go out and back. They also have like part-time regional stuff like that. I've actually been considering going back to work for them and being a local driver. Basically, they have local drivers go get the trucks loaded and take them to the yard. That way the long haul drivers don't have to go get live loaded when they're heading out of Missouri. So they just, the long haul drivers come in, they hook up to the trailer and hit the road. They're not sitting there spending hours of their precious time sitting in a dock. That's where someone like me comes in handy because I go sit at docks all day long getting loads loaded for these guys. And the way he runs that business is just really, really awesome. What would it do me to do a new channel? All right, so if you do a new channel and get all of your subscribers over to your new channel, you keep your subscribers, and hopefully will have your 1,000 or whatever you need to become monetized. Then you start up a new AdSense account. Now, you might look into seeing if you can start a new AdSense account on your current channel. You need to ask YouTube, like, what can you do? I don't know. I don't even know how you talk to YouTube. It must be through email. I've never had to talk to them, and I've never had a PIN number. I guess maybe when I done all that, it was before they needed a PIN or something. I don't know. I do remember once I got monetized and I connected my bank account, I basically, all they did was I had to go into my AdSense account through Google, and I set up my bank account. They made a few small deposits into my bank account, and then once they done that, they sent me an email. I went into that email. Google has never sent me actual mail in the mail. Okay. They sent me an email, and I put in, how much they deposited. So I verified my bank account, and that's all I really had to do with them. So maybe they sent it to your email address, because as far as I know, they don't send anything in the actual mail like the postal service. They do email. So you might go to your email that you originally used to set up your AdSense account and type in, verification or something like that. Maybe it'll pop up. I don't know. You need to search that or something, because I don't know. I've just never gotten a PIN number in the mail from Google, so I don't know. It just sounds weird. Paul Honeyman said, "That's the episode, mate." I'm lost, Paul. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, we're all over the place in this one today. It's not that I want to give up. Okay. Yeah, I read that one. Crazy Ed's Homestead. You will find another job. Just don't get involved with a female that works there or is the boss. Yeah. Yeah, everyone says that. Don't mix work and pleasure. It don't work. It never does. It might for a little bit. Might want to make the bus zombie proof. Hint, hint. That's another thing I got to figure out is how to put the safe in here. Bolt that thing down in here. I don't know. Man, I've got so much stuff to downsize if I'm going to end up living in this thing, because I'm not going to pay for storage. That's why I have a shipping container, really. But in order to get the property that I kind of want, it's $6,000, probably plus closing cost. And let's see, is it Myers Kids or Sandy Wilkerson? They sent me their addresses, and I can't remember which one was which, but one of those, I want to say it was Myers Kids, lives over there extremely close to this property that I'm looking at. So I might be kind of a neighbor to you if you're in here. Let's see, Dawn Lee, I'm guessing it's a 4x4 frame for the embroidery machine. Yeah, it's something like that. A 4x4, maybe 5x5, something. It's pretty small. The stuff they use on Windows is Reflectix. No, it wasn't Reflectix. Reflectix is that kind of like bubble wrap looking stuff. This was like a shiny kind of cloth looking material that looked like it had some sort of insulation in it. But they didn't call it Reflectix. It was more like the word you said earlier. And I can't remember what channel that was on. And I was like, man, that's interesting, because it looked more like cloth with like a shiny material. Not like Reflectix. Reflectix is that silver kind of bubble wrap looking stuff. Which would work, you know. I might, no, I'm not going to use Reflectix. It's too stiff. What I'm thinking is doing copper piping, like a lot of these guys do. And then I know a lot of people are going to be like, well, what about your electrical? Like, aren't you going to run it through the ceiling? Blah, blah, blah. I think for the electrical, it's going to be kind of like a steampunk. I'm thinking about just using gas, black pipe, you know, the gas line stuff, and running that up and down the ceiling wherever I need to put in a light or something like that, and switches and whatnot. So it's going to have that kind of steampunk rustic feel to it also, because that's just kind of how I want to do it. Let's see here. Yeah, unless you invest in a really upscale embroidery machine, it's one color of thread at a time. Yeah. And I didn't really buy it for that. I mean, I bought it because it was the only machine that Walmart had. And it was right when the CV stuff kind of, you know, kicked off and everything. Everybody was into making their own mask and everything. And then me trying to be relevant on YouTube, I was like, well, I could make mask and put that video out there. And so I came up with a pattern by watching, I can't remember the name of the channel. The lady who had made that design first, her name of her channel is actually in the title of that video. So I gave her, you know, some credit for that, for me getting the idea from her. And so I went to Walmart here locally. They had no sewing machines, and like people were buying the material like crazy, like the I forget what they call that material. It's non-woven backing or whatever. Everybody was buying that stuff up like crazy. And I've got, what do they call those things? Like a batten or something. I can't remember what they call it, but I've got a couple of those of that material. I've got a bunch of material in there on top of my deep freeze. So I might be using some of that for making the first curtains that we put in here. They might look a little odd because some of it's kind of decorative. Some of it's kind of like a tie-dye blue color, which would be pretty cool, I think. I don't know. I'm not too big into that sewing stuff, but I can sew. Let's see. What is she up to now? So at Crazy Ed's Homestead, you can make another channel off your channel that you have now, and let us all know where to find you so we can make you smile. Want to kick my rear to keep you in shape and visit with us all. Drops Family Garden, 2 cups of water, 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, 2 slices of ginger root. That's what it was, ginger root. That ginger root was helping me pretty good with the blood pressure issues I was having. But I don't need it no more because I don't have blood pressure issues. My blood pressure is like normal now, unless I'm like ticked off over something, but that's normal. But once I stopped taking that medicine that was causing my blood pressure to go up, everything's good. So, and it's a good thing they didn't put me on blood pressure medication, because they'd done that a few years back when I was having the same issue with ulcers and everything. The only reason I had ulcers was because I was taking Excedrin, which is an NSAID, and that's what caused the ulcers. So I no longer take Excedrin. I found out that I should be taking Tylenol instead of Excedrin for aches and pains and stuff. The only problem is Tylenol does not help my headaches at all. It does nothing for them. The Excedrin does. The Excedrin would help my headaches pretty quick, and that's why I was taking it. But it's a problem. Can't take it. Let's see. Yeah. Ginger root, raw honey to taste, brew like tea and drink, good for ulcers, etc. Yeah. Yep. I didn't put like the honey and stuff in there, but I would like dice up the ginger root, and I would boil that or steep it into a tea, which tastes freaking horrible. And that's, yeah, I could see totally putting honey in there to try to fix that. But yeah, I would drink that stuff and it would help. the ginger root did. What I miss here? Crazy Ed said, I'm thinking about going full-time YouTube and see if I can make it. I don't know if I would do that. I mean, definitely do full-time YouTube, but still have a job. Because with YouTube, you only get paid once a month. And I don't know. Where I'm at right now, I'm not even close to making enough to even pay for gas in a vehicle. You kind of know about what I make. Yeah, it's right now, let's say it's showing $144 for this month. And it usually, if I do a lot of work on YouTube, I might hit 200. Just throwing that out there. I don't make a bunch of money off of YouTube. I mean, once you get to, let's say, 10,000 subscribers or more, you might be making enough money off of it to, pay bills and stuff. But I really don't see anybody with less than 10,000 subscribers being able to really, do strictly just YouTube for income, unless you have some other kind of income coming in. But I mean, yeah, hit it for sure. Like if you can do a job like driving a truck, you can do lives and stuff. Whenever you stop in the afternoon or something, if you can kind of get a schedule, you can do your lives and stuff like that, kind of like what you was doing before. I wouldn't see that being a problem. Or even like when you stop for your 30-minute break or something in the middle of the day, you could, possibly do a live or something like that, kind of show people where you're at or whatever. I mean, and totally, try to do it as full time as you can, a video every day or something. What is she up to now? Said at Crazy Ed's Homestead, you do YouTube full time. You won't be coming to kick my rear anytime soon. No. Let's see. Having friends like me is a good thing. Aren't you so lucky? Don't rush to answer that. Why do a new channel? You have to start all over. All right, Drops. The reason why he may want to do a new channel is because of problems he's having. He says that in order for him to get paid, for them to release the money from his AdSense account on the current channel, he has to have a PIN number or something. And I mean, I don't know. I never had a PIN sent to me on mine. I did have to verify my account and all that kind of stuff, my bank account and everything. Crazy Ed said, what do you think about me setting up a GoFundMe page to help just a little bit? Would you consider that me begging for help? You do whatever you think you need to do. There's probably people out there that will help you. I mean, I'm pretty well strapped right now. I mean, I know there's people out there that want to help you. So whatever you want to do. Dave, you have a fly ant living on your shoulder. A fly ant? What's that? I got bugs on me. I think the chair was outside for a few days now, or a few weeks. And it probably got bugs all over it. And I just brought it in the bus. I may have to exterminate my bus. What is she up to now? Said, no, it's not begging because everyone needs a little help from time to time at Crazy Ed's Homestead, or do a PayPal account too. Yeah, like I have a PayPal account and it's in the About tab or whatever on my channel. Like people don't like send money to it or nothing, but if y'all want to, it's there. Crazy has said, thank you, David, for sending me some new friends. Oh, did you get some new friends today? Sweet. Awesome, man. You need to focus on putting good content out there for everybody. Don't give up. See what you can do. I mean, just think outside the box. Maybe you need to start up another channel, a side channel, have 2 channels or something, uh, maybe you might just set up a new AdSense account on the channel you have right now. I don't know if you can do that. Look into it. There's probably YouTube videos on it, man. Or even type in the problem you're having and see how to fix that. Someone else may have went through the same thing, and I'm sure there's probably a video on YouTube that can help you out on that. Tiffany Spangler said, "You're welcome, Ed. What is she up to now?" Said G at Crazy Ed's Homestead. "Are you telling me I'm not a friend of yours?" LOL. One way or the other, I'm going to get you to keep going on things because you are worth it. Yes. And he said, "Yes, what is she up to now? You are a friend. You run PEX for water lines in an RV, FYI." Yes, I will definitely be using PEX. I cannot stand PVC. We will definitely not be doing PVC in here. But for like electrical, I'll just have the steel lines on the inside to run the electrical wires through. Just kind of like that steampunk style. So you have like your light will be hanging from the piping and stuff. The wires will be inside of it. A lot of the electrical is probably going to be underneath, like inside cabinets and stuff like that. But as far as like lighting, I'm planning on running it down the side. I don't want to get rid of the ceiling like it is. I see a lot of people do bus builds and they rip out all of this metal. They get rid of all those rivets. They drill out all those rivets and everything. That is an insane amount of work. There's already insulation in there. It may not be the greatest, but there's already insulation in there, and I'm not doing that. I'm not ripping all that stuff out. I think this right here, this panel on the side, that's where electrical runs through, and then the wiring will go up and over to this light. So if I take this light out, I can actually put like puck lights in there, and then I can trace like where the wires are. And that's something I'm going to have to do before I put cabinets up or anything, is figuring out all the wiring and then put 12-volt LED puck lights. And I'll probably want to put some right about here, and then right here, and then probably on the other side. So it'll be like 3 lights, so I don't end up with a bunch of shadows, like over countertops and stuff. If I can do that, I may not have to do the steel piping. Now let's see here. Homestead, I'm the bad penny that keeps coming back to cheer you on. But you can let the hippie in you shine in your curtains, but you will get good at making curtains for buses. I don't know that I'll get good at it. I mean, I'm not bad at sewing with a sewing machine. I started off as a kid sewing with an old Singer sewing machine that it had electric motor on it, but I was sewing leather, and so I had to crank it by hand. It was just an old Singer sewing machine. It worked pretty good. Ryan Renner said, "What are your plans for the bus?" Well, my plans are to build it out to where I can live in it and travel in it. I'll put a trailer hitch on the back. We're going to put a deck up top. We're going to put solar on it. Hopefully I can have a big enough solar system in here to not have to ever really run a generator. But I do have a generator I can use to, charge batteries back up and that kind of stuff. I'm going to try not to have too many things in here that's going to suck a lot of power. I want to have enough solar on here that will, run a 12-volt fridge, and just become debt free. I don't want to be connected to the grid and paying that electric bill every month. I want to have a place to live to where I can actually not be living in the house and remodel the house so I can sell it. Then take the proceeds made from that and go and buy a piece of raw land, not necessarily off grid, but a piece of raw land, and start building my own house. and then I'll have the bus right here to live in while I'm doing all that, so I can remain somewhat comfortable uh, with my family. So that's kind of the purpose of it. The other thing is I'll be using it as, if I want to travel somewhere with the sawmill and everything, I'll be able to pull the sawmill behind me and go to people's property, and at the same time, I have a place to live. So, and the bus, being able to live out of the bus, that would make it to where if I don't have a job that I have to go to every day, I could travel and pull the mill behind me and go pretty much anywhere in the United States. Route 3 Box 6 Texas, people that do well on YouTube are the ones who record themselves working. Talking won't sustain an audience for long. I watched channels go to S because they forgot why viewers came in the first place. Well, I call BS on that, because there are channels out there that all they do is talk, and they have hundreds of thousands of subscribers more than I do. So I know a lot of my project videos, a lot of my working videos and everything, people don't like them. And you know how I know? It's not because they say they don't like them, it's because they don't watch them. But yeah, there's like this right here. I mean, I'm just talking, right? And I'm holding on to 25 people right now. We were up to like 30 at one point. So a lot of these people do like the talking and not doing stuff. And that's what my lives are about, is connecting with you guys, answering questions for you, offering up some support to other YouTubers like Crazy Ed in here, that kind of thing. This is where I'm on the same channel, right? I'm not building in this video, and people do not come back and rewatch my my lives. Okay, so I don't really gain much from doing a live. Uh, my my normal videos, that brings in people who come in whenever, and they watch it whenever they have time to watch it. A lot of you guys watch those, but then there's also a lot that don't, and there's people that just watch everything I put out, which is probably you guys that are in here right now. But yeah, I do these lives where all I'm doing is talking, not working, not doing anything, because I get to connect with y'all. Made friends with a lot of these people. A lot of these people in here I've actually met in person, and that's why I do these lives, is so I can connect with you guys, and you guys get to ask me questions, and I get to answer them right here. We've been on here for 1 hour 52 minutes now, and I mean, if I had just a couple of people in here, that makes it worth it for me, because I get to connect with you guys and talk with you. And we got 24 people in here. That right there just blows me away. Let's see. Drops Family Garden said you can put flexible solar panels on top to charge your batteries for the lights rather than cheap, or rather cheap. Yeah, I've seen semi trucks with it's like a flexible solar panel on the top of their sleeper, and I just, I don't know. I'm probably going to end up putting rigid ones up there. It's going to be kind of on a rack. If I put a flexible one up there, I would imagine I probably would have to glue that down, and I don't want to glue it down to the bus top, because let's say if it got damaged in a hailstorm or something, I would have to replace that, which means pilling it up probably would peel the paint off. So yeah, I think I would just probably do the rigid ones on the rack. Crazy Ed said, I may be getting a hold of you, David, soon for some lumber so I can build a 20 by 16 building to live in. Okay, so are you going to keep the property, or what are you doing? I have a little bit of lumber here, not a lot. I can also cut it down too. I've got a bunch of logs I need to start milling. I had a guy, he wants some beams and stuff from me because he's going to build like a lean-to or something. And so he's wanting some beams and stuff from me, but I don't know if he's going to want to pay what I want for that, for beams. Beams are kind of expensive just because they're so hard to, move around and stuff. What is Ship to now said, yes, talking are good to do on YouTube. Others like building stuff too. Yeah, I mean, that's the great thing about YouTube. Like, you can do anything. whatever it is you do what you love doing, and you will find your niche group. There's people who like podcasts. There's people who like the lives like this right here, where they have that interaction with the creator. And there's people that like the building videos. And honestly, I feel like a channel should be well rounded. You should have a little bit of all that and kind of cater to everybody. Because, I mean, let's say if all you do is building videos, it's going to get old. It's going to get old if you're doing the same thing every day. Like Ed, right now he's got so much cleanup to do on his property, and that's like all he can do right now. So I know he gets bored with that, like putting the same old videos out, just watching him run a chainsaw and cutting stuff, cutting firewood and that sort of thing. So it gets very monotonous, and people don't want to watch that day in and day out. So he has to do lives. That kind of breaks it up a little bit and makes it a little more interesting. So yeah, I mean, not everybody comes to your channel just to watch you build something. Not everybody wants to watch you do a how-to video. I mean, they want that more personal connection with you for one. So I feel like you have to do some talking videos, like Coffee with the Crockers. That guy, he's got a bunch of channels, and what he does, I understand it because it helps the algorithm with each channel. Um, but I don't want to split up my content, between a bunch of different channels to, worry about the algorithm. I don't do this just for the money from YouTube. I do this because I love doing this. And over the last couple of years, I've connected with a lot of you guys. And so that's why I do this. And hopefully you guys can learn something from me also. Like maybe you want to build out a bus too, and maybe do it a little different than everybody else. I've got a few ideas already that is way different than I've seen anybody else do, like reusing the metal in the seats for the roof rack system, how I'm going to do that. That's totally different than what I've seen anyone else do. If you go to schoolie.com, you'll see that the brackets that they rivet onto the ceiling up here for the roof rack, those are like $61 a piece. People have been telling me I need to sell all the bus seats to help put money into the bus build, but there's two of those legs on each one of these seats. So that's, what is that? $120, all right, that I would save by not spending $61 plus shipping per each one of those little brackets that has a bolt in it so that it'll match. Whoops, my live messed up here. So that it'll match to the angle of the roof. I can actually use the feet off the legs of each seat, and there's no way I'm selling each one of those seats for $100 and something a piece. Nobody's going to pay that. They might pay $20 a piece or something, but they're not going to pay $100 and something. And that's really what those seats are worth to me. There's actually a piece of sheet metal in the back of each one of those seats. So you can go on to schoolie.com and you can buy this really nice, it's very specific to what bus you have, but you order, it's the flasher delete. It's a panel, it has all the holes in it to where you can put that over where your lights used to be. You can paint it and everything. It looks really nice. What I think I'm going to do, I'm going to try to take the metal out of the back of one of those seats and cut it out to the shape I need, drill my own holes in there and do the flasher light delete myself with metal that's in the seats from the bus. Now, I've been considering maybe using some of the cushioning in the seats and just doing a different upholstery, possibly even using some of the plywood that's inside those seats and just cut them more square, and maybe making, like when I make a dinette, I might be reusing some of the foam out of some of those seats and just reupholstering it myself so it's not like a bus seat. So I'm going to try to use everything and repurpose stuff that came out of the bus. And honestly, I can't even stand the thought of posting those on Facebook Marketplace because of all the, just dealing with having to message people back and forth whenever I post something. And 99% of it is people saying, "Hey, is this still available?" And you can say, "Yes, it is." And they don't get back with you. I know some of that is people who accidentally hit the button. A lot of it is actually like kids just messing with you just because they think it's fun, which drives me nuts. So I really don't like posting stuff for sale on Facebook Marketplace anymore just because of the sheer headache of dealing with all that. Let me catch up here on the chat. Oh, let's see here. Drops Family Garden said, it snowed. Not going to the grocery store today. Crazy, I said I got it. Drops. Let's see. Crazy Heads Homestead. Maybe it'll give you some ideas. If I could find a job to do from home, would be awesome. Yeah. I totally get where you're at, Ed, because I'm probably going to go driving for that company. I'm going to probably end up doing local work for them. Just enough. I want to work enough to pay all my bills and have money to put into this bus and get it done quicker. If I could make a ton of money off of the woodworking stuff I do, I would totally do that. But right now it is picking up. I'm getting more people coming in wanting wood and stuff. It's picked up a little bit in the last month or so, but not enough to to stay unemployed. Um, uh, Says, "Oh, at Drops Family Garden, you're going to be shipping the storms to all of us." Oh, thank you. Not really wanting the cold sub-zero temps and white stuff. I like it when it snows, but whenever it snows, I'm ready for it to be gone. um, Granny Nina, Granny Nina uh, said, "Hi, how is it? Everyone don't comment often, not knowing what to say." Well, thank you for saying something. Um, I'm going to try to keep the property if I can. Awesome. But yeah, I guess you need to find a job. That is another issue. Like, I don't know, like over there where Adam is, you have to drive so far to find a place to get a decent job over there. Where you're at, you're a bit closer to Branson and everything. So I know there's jobs over there. Um, you might be able to, I mean, Springfield isn't super far from you. You might be able to go drive for Prime. Not really a company I want to work for. I think they have another subdivision or whatever of their company that's not lease operators. I could I could never tell someone to ever do a lease purchase. It it is for some people, and it's not for others. And it is definitely not for me because I know what those guys are paying for those trucks and how much they have tied up in those trucks. And I've actually seen that company sidewind people like whenever they're getting down there to the last few payments, their loads fall off. They're like, "Well, we don't have a load for you," and they starve them out and make them start all over again. I wouldn't ever work for a company like that, but I'm just throwing it out there. That's a company that's not too far from you. Um, there's another company over kind of by, it's down on 412. It's a good ways away from where you are. It's called Hurricane. That's another company that's pretty decent, I heard. Um, yeah, I don't know. Yep, legs are on the outside of seats only, not toward the wall of the bus. Yeah. So you only get like two of those legs per seat. And I think there might be enough steel in each one for me to actually have the channel going across. Um, but that's not square tubing. It's more of like a C channel. Um, and I'm considering probably use an inch and a half tubing uh, for the main structure, just so it's more rigid. And when you walk on it, you don't want to feel it flexing. Um, Let's see. Crazy Ed's Homestead said, I was thinking about starting a new channel like Coffee with the Crockers because something different, of course. Yeah. I mean, if you want to do that, um, I like keeping it all on one channel. And this is just me with Hood, as Hood's Custom Shop, whatever, um, you know, connecting with everybody. The the sucky thing is like it does mess with your algorithm a little bit. Um, I don't know. I see other channels that do everything on their one channel and they've got millions of subscribers. So I don't know that it really matters. I do have a second channel. Some of you guys know it's the Hillbilly Woodsman, and that's just some of my funnier, hillbilly videos and stuff on there. I think I've got like 11 or 12 subscribers over on that channel. I don't really like push that channel because I haven't put anything on that channel in a while. Because, like I found out, when you're really trying to be funny, you're not funny. So it's really hard to try and be funny. The videos I have on there, I wasn't even trying to be funny. I was just kind of being my own goofy self, being a redneck that I am. And I just set the camera up and was doing some stupid stuff and pretty funny. And I had fun making those videos. But whenever I try to make a video like that, I fail horribly at it. And I do. All right, so here's one thing I've been thinking about doing, and I've been thinking about doing some characters. I have to figure out some names and really like write it down and figure out like the character how they're going to be. Um, so I'd found some wigs, and I of course have my hillbilly teeth and stuff I can put in for the characters. I've been thinking about doing some more funny videos, which will probably be on both channels, but um, we I was told about this Amazon resale store. So like people can buy a big pallet of Amazon returns or whatever. They pay X amount of dollars for it, and this guy goes and buys this stuff, and he puts it in a store, and then on Saturdays, everything in there, every item is $1, right? And my father-in-law told me about this, so we went in there on a Saturday. Like they restock, I think it's on Monday. So Mondays is like $20 or something because there's really good items in there. And then like each day after that, it drops down progressively. And like on Saturday, it's $1 an item. And there was some wigs in there. I was like, oh yeah, I could totally have a mullet. Put it underneath my hat, and it was actually one of them's a hair extension. It has like a rubber band type thing that goes around your head, and I put that on, put my hat on over it, and I had my kids just like rolling. So I was like, that's what I was looking for to make them laugh. And I was like, okay, this might work on my Hillbilly Woodsman show. The hair extension one goes down dang near to my butt. The hair is so stinking long, and it's like the same color as what my hair would be if it was longer. And I was like, that is so fitting. I put my hillbilly teeth in, and my son couldn't hardly breathe. He was laughing so hard. So I was like, I bet if I could come up with some skits or something, that would be pretty fun to put out there on my channel. Like I was thinking about maybe doing some videos with the bus, like this is how you do this, and like going around with that mullet. uh, it's hard for me to get into character without the teeth and everything in. It's kind of weird. Like once I put those hillbilly teeth in, it's just boom. Oh, sorry, I'm getting notifications here. Oh, let's see here. Homestead, that would work. You could do it, and your other channel too. Yeah, Don Lee said Marketplace is nothing but a headache. Yes, it is. And I don't know. I've gained some haters on Facebook, some people who follow me on Facebook. I made my profile public to where it's no longer like private, whereas it used to just be family and stuff on my Facebook, and now it's a public deal. And I've gained some haters, and they follow me. So every time I post something for sale on Marketplace, they see that and they come in there and they hate on me. As soon as I post something, like when I post that Mustang for sale, I couldn't get anything done for like 2 days because my phone was just nonstop blowing up. And so many times I actually would delete the post just so it would stop. It's made it so hard to sell stuff on there. It drives me nuts. Um, Dropped Family Garden said, one thing you find out is you need several side hustles until you find your niche market. I've been self-employed over 20 years at home. Yep. Yeah, and another thing is like Drops, you've been self-employed for over 20 years. You know this as well as I do and a lot of other people. Once you've been self-employed or run your own business, whatever, it is extremely, extremely hard to go back to work for somebody. It really is. Uh, Whenever like you know what you can do, you know what you can make, and it's just even when times are really rough, those skinny times, you're like, man, if I could just get this one, make this one sell, it'll get me by, and then I'd make another one. You got to try to get to that point. The CV thing really hurt my business big time, slowed everything down for me, and that's the biggest struggle I'm facing right now. um Crazy Head said I would never go back to work for Prime again. Oh, you worked for him before, did you? Yeah, I get you on that one. I can't really advise anyone to go to work for them. CFI is not a bad company, and CFI actually bought out D&D Sexton, which is a refrigerated company, and so I mean they're adding on more trucks right now at CFI. They're not a bad company. I know you said before, like their drivers were rude or whatever, but that's the drivers, not the company. CFI is a bit different than what they used to be with the e-log and everything. That's the other thing. I just cannot deal with the e-logs, and that's why I would have to do like local, which I would probably still have to deal with e-log, but at the same time, I'm not over the road. Mm. Drops Family Garden said the only way you make money on returns, etc., is dropping 60K on it and having people ready to receive a pallet or two. That's how you do that business. So it's the basically the wholesalers on that making the money. I don't know if that's like an auction thing. I don't know much about it. I heard what they do is they go in, they buy a pallet or two or something, and I want to say it was like $1,000 a pallet. Uh, but then you got to have a place to put that stuff and have people dig through it and buy it, and you may or may not make your money on it. I don't know. That's not something I would want to get into because this guy has a building. So what did he pay to build that building? Probably $80,000 to build this building that he's doing all this in. So that's a huge investment. I just can't see the return on that to want to do that, and then have to sit there and babysit it. No, not me. Yes, yep. Even local have e-log to do yet. Yeah, um, but I think on local you're allowed 14 hours or something like that on your clock. JB said stopping by to say hello. Thank you, whoever you are, JB. Thank you so much for coming in here, stopping by, and saying hi. Yep, even local. Oh, I already read that. Let's see. What is she up to now? Said it's still sub-zero wind chill outside, in case anyone was wondering. What is she up to now? Where are you at? Did you say you was in Nebraska? You're up there by Nebraska or something, I think you said. What is she up to now? Said, hi, JB. Yeah. Yeah, I need to get started sometime today. I'm really not wanting to rip this floor up. Oh, that's the other thing. When I do rip all this flooring up, all this like rubber matting and the plywood, there's a bunch of holes in the floor from where all the bolts that held the seats in and everything. So I got to get all those bolts and everything knocked the rest of the way out, get those picked up so I don't run over them and get a flat. Then I've got to back the bus up over by the garage and get my stick welder out, disconnect my batteries. That way I don't fry the ECM on the engine. Um, and then I'm going to come in here and weld up every single little hole in the floor where those bolts went through. So we don't have, like when you're going down the road, road spray and stuff, that would soak up into the floor and ruin your plywood and stuff or your insulation. Because yeah, the insulation is going to be on the bottom with plywood on top of it, and I don't want my insulation getting soaked. So I gotta weld up all those little bitty holes with a stick welder. Crazy Ed said e-logs suck. Yeah, that is the one thing that really ruined it for me. I had so much fun sitting there, like, running several logbooks. It was one logbook that I ran, but back in the day, we kind of we was able to. I never drove unsafe. I'll put it that way, but I can't say that the logbook was actually telling the truth all the time. Uh, I made it say what it needed to say in order for me to be safe and drive safe, because the rules that they put out there is not a one size fits all. Um, my rule was I am the captain of that ship, and I will not drive when I'm tired. I may have only been driving for 3 hours that day. If I felt like I needed to take a nap, I started getting drowsy, I pulled over and took a nap. Then that logbook might restart whenever I woke up. And when I was out driving a truck, I never ever set an alarm. I always woke up naturally. I would, like, the worst thing ever is when you set an alarm with it that forces you to get up at a certain time, then you're tired. So I made it a rule that, I don't care what that logbook says. I don't care what the DOT says. I'm not going to drive tired. And guess what? 21 years over the road, only had one accident that was not my fault. I didn't have any at fault accidents. I had an incident where I messed up my bumper because I was backing up. I followed the directions that D&D Sexton sent me to get into this place. I followed their directions to a T, and ended up down at a dead end around the business I was going to. It told me to go around that road and that the dock was in the back. Well, there was a dock back there, but that's not the dock I was supposed to go to. And the roundabout at the end of that driveway was just big enough for a FedEx truck to turn around. And there was a FedEx truck in there, so I had to back all the way around this curve. They had these huge boulders along the side of this little single lane thing, and as I was backing around, one of those boulders put a scrape into the bumper. And when I got back with that truck, I didn't have an assigned truck, so whenever I got in the truck, it was somebody else's truck. And when they came back, they seen the scrape in the bumper, and I got written up for it. I was like, I didn't even know I hit the dang thing. I knew that was the only time that could have happened, was whenever I was backing in. Got one of them damn things on me again. But yeah, that was the only time it could have happened, is when I was backing around that corner. And I got wrote up for it. They're like, oh, you didn't turn it in, blah, blah, blah. I was like, I didn't know it even happened. It was just a little scratch on the bumper. So that was the only other little incident. Heather Hopper said, hello, David. What's up, Heather Hopper? Good to see you in here. Oh, let's see. What a Ship To Now said, run, stop for 15 minutes, break, run again, stop an hour, lunch, run again, stop for 15-minute break, run until you have to stop for night. That's kind of what it's like when you go out to California and you have a multi-stop, like, pickup. I got freaking bugs crawling on me. But yeah, like, I went out to California many times, and I used to go pick up produce for CEI, and you would start off way down in Southern California. Next thing you know, you're like up in Sacramento, like 15 stops later. And the worst thing was, I did that one year on the 4th of July, and I went up the 101. Never go up the 101 on the 4th of July. It took all day. all stinking day long in stop and go traffic. Ugh. Let's see. That's how it is even for local haulers today. I know. I used to be a local driver. You still have to deal with the e-log and all that BS and everything, but it's a lot easier when you're local, um, as long as you can still get home. And here they don't plan you out so far that it's hard to get home, unless it's just there's going to be that instance where the shipper has something go wrong, and you're kind of stuck there overnight. That happens, and to be a truck driver, you just have to learn how to deal with that. Let's see. What a ship to now said, drop you missed. Oh, drops you missed the huge one that went down his shoulder. I think that was a cockroach that was on me. Ugh. Gosh dang it. Oh, I don't like this chair now. This is my wife's chair because I broke mine that I was like sitting in on the last live. And this thing was sitting outside like all week. So it's got bugs on it. Yeah, yeah, it was a cockroach. Oh, dang it. Oh man. No, it looked more like a huge stink bug. Yeah, I'd seen those the beetle things around my laptop, but that one I seen it crawling right here looked like a cockroach or something. Ugh. I got bugs on me. I'm about to weird out now. Making me itch and stuff. Yeah, that's kind of stuff you got to deal with. Like if you're off grid, be out there in the woods, you got things crawling on you if you're sleeping in a tent or something. But man, I'm gonna get this floor tore out of here, and I'm gonna have to spray the bus now. I don't want stuff like that in here. Ugh, I shouldn't have brought this chair in here. I know that's what it had to be. It was on the chair. I didn't like clean it off. Ugh. Anyways, I've been on here 2 hours and 21 minutes. So I need to get busy and start ripping the flooring and stuff out of the bus, sweep it out and everything. Look at the bright side. It wasn't a bear or a cougar. Yeah, that would not be good. But yeah, I wanted to go with a school bus because they're metal, and they're a lot better built, and I mean super sturdy. This thing, I mean, aside from the motor and transmission, it could pretty much last the rest of my lifetime. Um, I mean, if the motor goes bad or whatever, we can always drop a different motor in. If this motor and transmission goes bad, it does have an Allison transmission, so I would just put another Allison transmission in it. But if the motor goes bad, it's the 444E or whatever, which is basically a Ford Power Stroke diesel, which is a really good, reliable motor. It's not a bad one, and a lot of people actually look for these. But there's a better motor out there, and that's the Cummins, like 5.9 liter, or the 8. I think there's an 8 point something liter out there, like the older 12 valve, and those Cummins motors are a bit better, more torquey. And if I had to, that's probably what I'd go with. Let's see. Drop said, "What is she up to now?" Nah, where'd it go? No, it was a cockroach. I'm on a 55-inch TV screen. Oh my god, that thing had to be like huge. That is good, Drop. I'm not, but Dave is not bug lover, is he? No, I'm not. Is what cockroach and suckers is big with the rich elite people. Yeah. I mean, when I was a kid, we had roaches and stuff, of course. I mean, I think a lot of people do, but we just kind of learned to live with them. We sprayed for them and stuff, but I cannot stand bugs crawling on me. Drives me nuts. And now I think I brought them into my bus. Dadgummit, making me itch. Yep. Now I'm gonna have to spray the bus, guys. We'll get this thing sealed up so bugs can't be getting in here. I don't do bugs in home. Yeah, and this is gonna end up probably being my home for a little bit. But yeah, dadgummit. I can't believe I brought this chair in here. Dadgum, 24 people in here still. All right, 2 hours and 24 minutes. I'm gonna have to go use the bathroom. The coffee's running through me. So guys, I'm glad you all stopped in here, but I'm gonna have to get to work on the bus. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Let's see if I can end this one. Bye-bye.